And therefore, while not forcing anyone to get vaccinated, enforcement measures in place will make sure that everyone is vaccinated. I did not call people who were unvaccinated names. There is a small fringe element in this country that doesn't believe in science, that is lashing out with racist, misogynistic attacks.
We are the richest country on earth run by idiots.
Today we're going to talk about Mr. Justin Trudeau, or as some like to call him, Justin Castro, or the one and only Mr. Blackface. Whatever you like to call him, he does exist, and he is, unfortunately, the Prime Minister of Canada. Now, it is the duty of every citizen to hold their governments accountable. At the end of the day, they work for us. We don't work for them. Our tax dollars are paying for their salaries. When our governments enact policies that do not support the general public, we do need to stop and ask questions.
This country is a country of openness, of respect, of compassion, of the rule of law, of the rights of the individuals, of freedom.
So the reason why I play this clip first, because it's a direct double standard here. You can't say my body, my choice when it comes to certain topics of conversation. This is where the hypocrisy is. But let's continue.
The clerk of the Privy Council, who is responsible for the federal public service, to look at mandatory vaccinations for federal employees. And we're also looking at federally regulated industries to encourage or perhaps even to mandate vaccinations for those industries.
Right, so I'm sure all of you are aware, those mandatory rules did kick in, and you couldn't ride a train, ride a bus, jump on a plane. You couldn't even travel within Canada, within your own country, unless you drove.
Individuals are allowed to make their own choices. There may be all sorts of different reasons why someone is hesitant to get vaccinated. There's no more excuses to not get your shot. And therefore, while not forcing anyone to get vaccinated, enforcement measures in place will make sure that everyone is vaccinated. I chose to make sure that all the incentives, travelers across the country need to be fully vaccinated. People coming into the country need to be fully vaccinated. We're there. Don't get to work in the public service. Don't get to go to movie theaters or gyms or restaurants to encourage Canadians to get vaccinated. What? What the fuck?
Now, when it comes to the vaccines, one of the main things we were told was to protect yourself and protect those around you and your family and your neighbors. Because if you take the vaccine, you won't spread it. It stops with you. Of course, we know now that's not true. Now, the question is, did governments know that from the beginning? Yes or no? Let's take a look at a Pfizer executive being questioned by MPs in the European Parliament, and we're going to see what she says about the vaccines and about transmission.
The Pfizer COVID vaccine tested on stopping the transmission of the virus before it entered the market. If not, please say it clearly. If yes, are you willing to share the data with this committee? And I really want a straight answer, yes or no, and I'm looking forward to it. Thank you very much.
Regarding the question around, did we know about stopping immunisation before it's entered the market? No. We had to really move at the speed of science.
So the question comes down to then, why were governments all around the world, mainstream media, portraying the same talking points, and that the vaccines stop transmission? But we just heard from one of the executives from Pfizer that that was never the case from the beginning.
Meantime, in Canada's capital, Prime Minister Justin Trudeau took a knee with protesters. He says systemic racism in policing is a long-standing issue that needs to be addressed.
My whole aim of focus here is the double standard. When it comes to seeing Mr. Trudeau out in the crowd, taking a knee at the Black Lives Matter protest, but when it came to Trudeau's response to the protesters, to the Freedom Convoy, well, he resorted to seizing bank accounts, police reinforcements from all over the country, horses trampling on people, veterans being thrown to the ground, military snipers on roofs, and seizing funds from donation sites like GoFundMe. He was so livid, and dare I say his ego was so bruised, he even attacked a member of parliament who was Jewish that she stands with swastikas.
It could be a powerful force for change. If Canadians are to trust their government needs to trust Canadians. Those are the words of the Prime Minister in 2015. These people, very often misogynistic, racist, women haters, science deniers, the fringe. Same Prime Minister 6 years later as he fans the flames of an unjustified national emergency. So, Mr. Speaker, when did the Prime Minister lose his way? When did it happen?
The Right Honourable Prime Minister.
Mr. Speaker, Conservative Party members can stand with people who wave swastikas. They can stand with people who wave the Confederate flag. We will choose to stand with Canadians who deserve to be able to get to their jobs, who be able to get their lives back. These illegal protests need to stop, and they will, Mr. Speaker.
I think what I find more disturbing is the people behind him applauding this.
I am a strong Jewish woman and a member of this House and a descendant of Holocaust survivors, and I have never it's never been singled out, and I have never been made to feel less.
Now, to be clear, I have nothing personal against Mr. Justin Castro. He's just someone who I feel is just not doing the job right. He's out of touch, he's not hearing people out, his ego and his pride is too big, and some of his policies are not favored by a lot of Canadians, but that is not a right to degrade them and call them names and belittle them. They are a part of this country and you work for them. That is your job. You can't make everyone happy, but the least you can do is maybe not call them names.
Comments and calling the unvaccinated racists and misogynists. And we have heard testimony in this inquiry about how some of your officials wanted to label protesters as terrorists. Would you agree with me that one of the most important roles of a Prime Minister is to unite Canadians and not divide them by engaging in name-calling?
I did not call people who were unvaccinated names. Of people who are on their way to Ottawa or who are holding unacceptable views. There is a small fringe element in this country that is angry, that doesn't believe in science, that is lashing out with racist, misogynistic attacks.
Now, I don't lean left or right. I'm simply an individual who likes to see our leaders have the best interest of the public in mind, even the ones that disagree with you. And how you manage to balance those two things will determine your success.
He, in my view, is the worst manager Canada has ever had. The worst. The absolute worst. There is no one as bad as he's been. He's just a terrible manager. He's completely unqualified to be the CEO of Canada, which is what the Prime Minister is. We are the richest country on earth, run by idiots.
Well, I think that's a wrap like shawarma. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Do you agree or disagree with some of the things I said? And if you found value in this, please hit the like and subscribe button. Until next time, thank you for watching Uncontaminated.